learning and learning. And one of the things, I've always said and I've always loved about our schools fair is we get to know. There's just that knowledge that is always there about our schools. We're always in that program or in that plan of educating our parents about top British boarding schools in the UK. And that is one of those things you would all, parents will be getting this morning. And also with the schools, you would get to, be part of one of our discussion today, because it's going to be different this year. It's not just about the schools just presenting, and then there's also going to be like a topic that we'll be discussing at the end of at the end of the presentation, school presentation. And that way, we're actually learning more and getting to know what it is that each school have to offer in their various institutions. So thank you so much for joining. Parents, please sit back. You will get to learn a lot. And we have outlined for you numerous fantastic schools. So please sit back and listen to the end.
Amazing. Very well said. Okay. So, one thing I like about the fact that this fair is virtual is the fact that you can get to learn, you can get to join from the comfort of your homes or your offices. And, you can just pick a comfortable spot wherever you are, your house, your office, pick a comfortable spot. You can help yourself to a cup of tea and biscuits if you like, or maybe even popcorn, and, just relax and, go on the journey with us. Okay, so what are we waiting for? Let's get this fair started. The first school that I would be inviting today is Sidcott School. And Sidcott School would be represented by Elsa Williams, who is the international coordinator of Sidcott School. Ladies and gentlemen, it is okay to clap. It is okay to react. Let's welcome Elsa Williams of Sidcott School.
Hi, thank you so much. So I am, my name is Sarah. I'm standing in for Elsa today, but I am very happy to be joined by one of our students, Onyinye, who is, there she is. And I'm going to run through, lovely to meet you all. I'm going to run through a few of the key points about our school, and then I'm going to ask Onyinye a few questions so that you can hear firsthand the experience of a boarder at our school in the UK. So if it's all right with you, I'm just going to try to share some slides. I hope you can see that okay now. So Sidcott School, if I just tell you very briefly about us, we are a co-educational school. We have boys and girls here. We have a rich history, founded in 1699, and we welcome students from age 3 to age 18. So that's all the way through sixth form, and supporting their journey into higher education, into university, or around the world, or other routes into work. We have 620 students, 150 of which are boarders. So 24% of our community is international, and we have around 30 different nationalities here. Here are just some of the beautiful grounds that we have. We're set in 150 acres of beautiful Somerset countryside, so lots of opportunities to kind of really experience what England is all about. You'll see we're at the bottom of the southwest of England, 10 minutes from Bristol International Airport, and very close to the historic cities of Bristol and Bath. It takes us 2 hours on a direct train to London, but we have a school bus service to and from Heathrow Airport at the start and end of each term. I think the key thing about our school is that we are based very much on values. So we're very welcoming to all. We've got respect for friends and family, and it's very important to us that we treat everybody equally. And I'm sure Onyinye will talk a little bit more about that. We seek to support everyone to reach their true potential, and that's academically, but also in pursuing their extracurricular activities and finding ways that they can explore their interests more at school. It's important to us that we protect and nurture our environment, and sustainability is one of our key values. And we also support and embrace peace as something that is very close to our hearts. We celebrate internationalism, and I think that's very important in a school community like ours. And so, for example, that might be members of our boarding community going down to our junior school, and even for the very early years, teaching them about our kind of global world. This is our Sidcut learning wheel, which is a kind of visual demonstration of how our values permeate through all of our learning and our education. So it's very important to us that our values are kind of seen throughout the school, even in our lessons, and also in our community. So you'll see there that kindness, empathy, respect, and integrity are very important values that go throughout the school. We have a fantastic arts centre here. It's a really beautiful place to be, and I would recommend anyone coming to visit or to check out the videos on our website if you would like to see more about that. Mathematics is a strength, and we have just renovated our science laboratories, which look really beautiful now. So again, encourage you to have a look. Here's a snapshot of our academic results. We are a school that has various pathways to education. So there's a 1-year GCSE, a 2-year GCSE, and we also in sixth form run A-levels, the International Baccalaureate, and also BTECs. So there is lots of opportunity for exploring those. So I'd like to hand over now to Onyinye, who is in year 13, so the final year of our sixth form. Onyinye, you've been here for 3 years now?
Two years.
Would you mind just sort of telling a bit about your experience at Sidcut and kind of your journey here?
Yeah, so I joined Sidcut for sixth form. So I was in a different boarding school in the UK, and then I decided I was going to leave for sixth form. So I'm a boarder, so I came into the Schoolhouse Girls, which is one of the boarding houses, and it's the biggest boarding house for girls, and it's mostly senior girls. So there are about 60 people in our house, which is quite big. But it's been really welcoming, really nice. Like I've had a roommate from Germany and a roommate from Russia as well since I've been in Sidcut. Now I have my own room because year 13s tend to have single rooms. But whilst I was in year 12, I had a roommate from Germany and Russia. And it was really nice to just sort of like get to know people from around the world and, you know, pick up a bit of their language as well and just learn cultural references as well. So it's nice to interact with people like that. And aside from roommates, obviously there's so many people in the house, like you meet people in the kitchen, you talk to them in the kitchen, and we'll have like boarding activities or weekends where we'd like take a trip to Bristol, to Cabot, and we'll go shopping and stuff like that. So there's lots of opportunities for us to sort of bond with each other and get to know each other. And then in school, so I decided to take A-level. So I started off with biology, chemistry, maths, and art. So the math, sciences, and art, like Miss was talking about. And it was really nice. Like the art department, like she said, is so beautiful. Like so many talented like artists at Sidcut. And then the maths department is also really good as well. So lots of like support, like we do like extra classes during lunch where you can like come in if you want to. It's called Maths Cafe. So if you have like any extra questions or anything, or you did some extra work and you're not sure like how to solve it, they're always there to help. And then the science department as well, like I wasn't around when before it got renovated, but it's really nice like now that I'm here, and all the labs are super clean, super nice, and we've done lots of dissections as well. So aside from like the actual like A-level content, like they do try and like go above and beyond to like make it a bit more fun and like do stuff like dissections and stuff like that. So yeah, and I've had the opportunity to sort of like integrate with like day students as well. So, you know, by joining like the netball team, so I get to like play sport as well, which is really good. And I know netball isn't hugely common in Nigeria, but it's actually really fun, quite similar to basketball. Um, so it's really nice to like get into doing like uh sports at school as well and get to know new people. And then obviously just joining societies as well. So when I first came, like some of the like friends I made that were African were like, oh yeah, you should join the African Caribbean Society, ACS. So I joined it, and then I kept coming every week, and it was really nice to like just have a safe space where we talk about like important values at school and how we can like continue to promote those values at school, like equality, diversity, and inclusivity. And it was really nice to have like the support of like senior leadership team as well, like Miss Lacey, who's like the deputy head pastoral, like she would come in for some of our meetings as well. So she really supported like the values of the society. And it was like, okay, like student voice was like being listened to as well through that society and like other societies at school.
I think you taught us all how to dance.
So we had like I don't remember. Yeah, there was one meeting where we had where like the head of junior school came, Miss came, and the Quaker overseer of school came as well. And so it was like our ACS party. So there was like jollof rice, there was like chicken, plantain, beef and stuff. And then JJ taught us like how to dance to Jerusalem, like the step dance. So it was really nice. Like it was just fun, like because we had done a lot of work that term, like promoting equality in school through like educational booklets, Black History Month assemblies, like speaking to the junior school, like having speeches with the junior school and stuff. So it was really nice. And even this year, I know Jemima's done quite a lot of speaking to the junior school as well. And she taught them how to make chapati, which is like a Kenyan dish. So it's really nice, like not just having like West Africans, but also like being able to interact with people from East Africa as well and stuff. And yeah, so it's really nice to have that space to sort of share your culture and like know your voice is being heard, which is something I think is quite unique to Sidcot, like just like students really having like a huge say in lots of things, like not even just ACS, like things like the food committee, for example, like, you know, like I think it's like every term or something where they have a meeting and they talk about like any improvements they can make to school food or anything like that. And then these things like Eco Change Makers Club, where students talk about how they can make the school more sustainable. So it's just like I feel like, yeah, like those values like sustainability and equality are really like integral to like everything that is done at Sidcot.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. We are tremendously lucky to have Onyinye at our school. She's very modest, but what I think our experience of our students coming from West Africa, East Africa, is that you know they really throw themselves into the community, get involved, and really take fantastic positions of responsibility, and we love that and really want to support that. I'm very conscious that we've probably reached the end of our time. Is that the case? Just wondering from the team, is that are we kind of at our limit? Are we at our time?
Yes. So we'll just have a bit of a Q&A
Yeah,
session now,
sure.
if that's okay.
Sure, of course.
Okay, good. So I will hand over to Jaye.
Yes, thank you so much for that presentation. Parents, we're here for you, and you're the reason we're doing this. So would very much like to hear from you. Would want to hear from you. If you have any question, it's okay to indicate by raise of hand, or if you indicate by a show of hand, we can allow you to ask your question real live. or you can just drop your questions in the chat room. So while we're waiting for the questions to come in, can I just ask Onyinye a question?
Yeah.
So Onyinye, how easy was it for you to blend in when you got into Sidcourt?
For me it was good because like I said before, I was already in a British boarding school, so I guess I had sort of like gotten used to the culture a bit. And I also had a friend who was in Sidcot as well, so there were quite a lot of people who were looking forward to seeing me. So because of my friend. So it was quite easy. But aside from me, like I know other people who found it really easy. Like because people join like every term. Like some boarders come and do like just programs where they stay for like a term, and what always surprises me is how quickly they make so many friends. Like the other day, like during lunch, like I was looking at this new boy who had joined from I think France or something, I don't know. But he was like, you wouldn't even tell he was new. Like he was like integrated into a friendship group and everything. So I think in general, like it's quite easy for people to settle in. And if you're coming from like Nigeria, West African countries, like there's always like older students who are there to support you, or people your age who are there to support you. Like when I joined, JJ really like tried to like integrate me into his friendship group and stuff like that. So, and eventually I found my own people as well. So, there's always someone who's willing to like help you settle in, even if you're struggling a bit.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so Sarah, would you want to talk a little more on pastoral care? And then, for a lot of people in Nigeria, we like to know what the scholarship and bursary provisions is available for parents.
Yeah, sure. So on pastoral care, we have a pastoral team that includes the deputy head pastoral, who Onyinye referenced as Miss Lady, and she oversees a team that include a team that are dedicated especially for pastoral, and they are based in our wellbeing hub called Rose Cottage. And that is a kind of safe space separate from the school where students can go if they need either counselling or additional support. That might be just having a chat with someone. It doesn't have to be terribly formal. But it's also, somewhere where extra and additional support can happen. There's a sort of sensory room and a space to sort of just chill out. Pastoral support within the boarding houses, again, Onyinye will probably be able to speak to that better, but there's you have a boarding house parent and also a matron who supports you with your washing and your kind of everyday needs, but your house parent is there to be someone to talk to if you need, and there's a roll call every evening to discuss any issues and to kind of keep each other updated. And then within the education system, you have tutors as well. In terms of scholarships, we do have a scholarship programme that can be found on our website, sidcot.org.uk/scholarships. So that's a range of scholarships in kind of academic, but also talents, including horse riding or music or sport or art or drama or design and technology. So there are a kind of range of options there. Our scholarships are tested on ability, so they're very much a kind of talent program, and you're supported with additional talent opportunities throughout your career at school. If you're looking for a bursary discount route, then that would be via our bursaries program, and that's means tested, so involves filling out a bursary form and dealing with the finance department, whereas scholarships comes through admissions and through me.
Okay, so we have a question here. How does your school ensure that both day and boarding students receive equal opportunities to thrive?
Oh, that's great. Do you want to have a go?
Yeah, like I think like in Sidcot, especially because most of the boarding houses are really on site, like there's not that much of a divide. Like I wouldn't say it's like boarding and day. Like I feel like it's kind of just like it sounds corny, but it's kind of just sort of like one group of students and like everyone's trying to like do well and everyone's trying to support, like all the teachers and staff are trying to support like all the students. Um, I guess like for example, things like for me now at my stage, things like university and like visiting like universities for like open days, like it might be easier for a day student because they don't have to like um sort of plan transport or like because like their parents can drive them down or something like that. Whereas in boarding, there's quite a lot of forms in terms of like logistics and stuff. But like Miss Pike is like our school like counselor in terms of like academics and like career, like a career advisor. And so she always tries to make sure like all her and Mr. Rudd will try and make sure like all the boarders like can get to these open days. So for example, like on the weekends, like they arrange like a taxi to go to Warwick for the open day. So just little things like that that may be slightly harder for boarders to do. They try and make sure that we still can do. I think those are the main times when there are issues between boarding and day. But like other than that, like if you just make the effort to like join clubs or something like that, like it's fine. Like everyone's super welcoming. Like you wouldn't really be able to interact with someone unless you go out there and like do the like stuff. Like I said with netball, like joining with netball really helped me because that's where a lot of like the day student girls like they play netball quite a lot. So it helped me kind of talk to them a bit more. Also, I may not have had the opportunity to speak to them, especially in sixth form where everyone's got different classes, different like study periods and stuff like that. So yeah, I think everyone's kind of equally paid attention to it. And if there seems to be sort of a divide, then like they try and figure out like what they can do to help.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so talking about the boarding system, is it strictly termly boarding or you have an arrangement for weekly boarding or something like that?
Yeah, we do have weekly boarders who go away. To be honest, there are about 5 of those in the whole community. So most of our boarders are around at the weekend, which obviously means there's a very vibrant community at the weekends here. But yes, it is an option. And also, there are opportunities for the boarders to go and stay for the weekend with day student friends if they have made friends and everyone's kind of signed saying they're happy for that to happen. So yeah.
Okay, so we have another question here. What activities are organized for boarders over weekends?
There's quite a lot, like, because I'm in sixth form, it's hard for me to think of all of them off the top of my head because I'm usually quite busy and I don't sign up. But like a lot of like younger students tend to sign up. Like I know there's like trips to Cardiff, trips to like Bristol, Bath, Wells. These are all just like cities, like places, and they're really beautiful. You can go shopping and like oh, I know next week, Monday, because it's like the Chinese New Year. So I know they're planning like a trip to a Chinese restaurant where like you can just sign up and then like you can get like a really nice meal. I went last year, but I'm not sure if I'll go this year. Not because of any reason in particular. I'm so busy. But yeah, there's lots of things. I know sometimes they do go-karting, ice skating, like, and sometimes there's things in the house. So they had like a great schoolhouse girls bake off like where like just you could sign up and then it was like a baking competition in the house and stuff, so or like just biscuit making, hot chocolate night, stuff like that. Like there's just sometimes just cute little things that we do together and stuff, so it's quite a few things.
Interesting, quite interesting. Good. So thank you very much for coming. It's been an awesome time with you. What a way to start the fair. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so moving on now. Well, I'm going to officially welcome the brains behind Brains and Butter. The founder of Brains and Butter, in person of Dr. Alo, delectable Dr. Alo. Dr. Alo, are you there? Okay, so Dr. Alo, like I said, is the brains behind Brains and Butter. She's the lead consultant for Brains and Butter. And so while we wait for Dr. Alo, we're going to move on to the panel session. Here we have a topic of discussion, which is helping children flourish in mathematics, science, and career exploration in AI and space age. To speak to this topic, we have Mr. Amos Tafa. So he's going to be talking to us about this, and then after that, we'll have a panel session where we get to hear and learn more about it and actually discuss it, dissect this topic. Mr. Amos, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. And Dr. Alo, thank you for this opportunity. It's been wonderful to see what Brains and Butter has been up to. And yes, so thank you. My name is Amos Tarfa, as Jai mentioned. I am based in the U.S., in Texas, in the state of Texas, which is, it looks like a country of its own with 30 million people. I live about 2 hours from Dallas, Texas, which most people are familiar with, and then 3 hours from Houston, Texas. Today, I'll be talking to you about helping your children flourish in mathematics and science in the AI and space age. You know, one thing that is interesting, of course, is we know that mathematics is, very applicable to everyday life. Everybody knows that it has, use in different forms. There are two major areas that are taking off quite a bit. And we have the space technologies and science space, and we have the AI space. So I'll be talking to you about both. But one of my goals is I want to support families, whether they're in Nigeria, Kenya, the UK, all around the world, to flourish in their math ability. No matter what they want to do with their lives beyond secondary school, I want them to be fluent in mathematics, and especially in their understanding of the history of mathematics and how they might be able to come up with new concepts to change the landscape for the better. I was in Cambridge last year, and it was a wonderful time getting to visit Trinity College, which is where Sir Isaac Newton was for his teaching and training. And then I also got to go to Woolsthorpe, England. So I definitely have a special place. England has a special place in my heart. So let me talk briefly about helping students flourish. The first thing I want to address quickly is that, when I think of students in England, or some of the students, parents, if your students are going to be doing A-levels or any sort of advanced math training, you would find that some students are either afraid or they think that math is hard, or some of them might be good at math, but they don't think it's beautiful. And so how do we help more students to make it through the training to hopefully maybe get an A or A star or ace their exams on the A-levels? I think the first key is to have a solid curriculum framework for your child. So your child needs to know where they're headed when it comes to their mathematical studies. So if they're studying for the A-levels, for example, which I actually have some resources used for the A-levels here with me in the US, because I love how some of the textbooks from Cambridge University Press are laid out. And so when I look at the textbook, whatever the material is that students are studying, they need to have a clear roadmap for where they're headed. So that's my first piece of advice to parents. Make sure that your children understand the content structure of what they need to learn. So when you have a roadmap, it helps a lot to then navigate the journey to excellence in mathematics and science. So first of all, they need a solid roadmap. Number two, they need a solid system of practice that would help them to flourish in their maths, chemistry, physics, and any other subjects that they're learning. And what is this practice strategy I recommend? I call it, it's called deliberate practice. And I'm going to just break it down briefly. But deliberate practice basically says that when you know where you're headed in studying any material, you need to be able to break down the content into smaller chunks that are digestible. And you need to have a coach that helps guide you along the way, especially in the topics that you are weak in. So I'll give you an example with fraction addition. when somebody's trying to add fractions, the problem occurs that if they don't know what prime numbers are, they will struggle with breaking down the fractions and finding a common denominator. That's the extent of our maths for today. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail in advanced mathematics, but what I'm trying to get at is when you look at two fractions, like 1/2 plus 1/3, you need to figure out, how do I add these together? Well, in order to do that, you need to have a solid understanding of prime numbers, which I have found to be one of the most fundamental topics for every student around the world. Prime numbers give us the foundation for understanding mathematics on a bigger, on the arithmetic level, and then even into algebra and beyond. So we need to help our children to understand the importance of the fundamentals of mathematics. And anytime they're working through a topic and they're struggling, they need to ask themselves, what are the fundamental skills that are necessary for me to thrive in this current topic? So this is another strategy I want to encourage parents to keep in mind. When your child might be frustrated about maths or science, encourage them to go back to first principles and the fundamentals, figure out any gaps that might exist, and then push forward. Now, it helps to have a coach to guide them along the way. And that's one of the things that deliberate practice teaches. So number one, your children should seek to have a solid curriculum framework that shows them the exact topics they need to get to their destination. Number two, your children need to practice with good practice techniques. There's a whole book about this called Peak by Dr. Anders Ericsson that talks about deliberate practice. And lastly, one of the things I want to talk about is the importance of, I call it the trifecta of math excellence. So in the trifecta of math excellence, we have the first factor, which is a solid curriculum framework. The second factor, which is study skills and how you practice. And the third factor is the history and applications of math and science. I think that there are many students today who are asking, why am I learning this? What is the point? And they need somebody to help them understand that there's a reason for the materials that they're learning. Otherwise, they feel like these concepts are difficult and I don't see any point to them. And so I'm going to give an interesting fact before I go on to integrate the third category and then land my plane. So there is a famous scientist by the name of John Dalton. He was an English chemist, and John Dalton actually was a teacher to a gentleman called Mayo. Mr. Mayo was in England back in the 1800s, and he was taught by John Dalton. Mr. Mayo came to America eventually. He had two sons, and they are called the Mayo brothers. If you know about America, and medicine in America, you will know that the best hospital in America is one of the best hospitals in America and actually in the world is a hospital in Rochester, Minnesota called the Mayo Clinic. What is interesting is that Mayo, their father, Mr. Mayo, was taught by John Dalton, who was, I believe, a Quaker and a teacher back in Manchester. And John Dalton, you might now, when I say this, you'll remember him more. He's the father of the atomic theory of the atom, right? That's one of the things they talk about. One of the early models of the atom came from John Dalton. John Dalton's story is quite inspirational because he actually was pretty much a principal while he was still a teenager. And it's interesting to learn the historical context, right, of the influence that Dalton had on Mayo. But there are so many stories in the history of science and mathematics that we can use to inspire our students to care about the material that they're learning. I just found, as the Sidcott School was sharing, I thought about John Dalton and I wanted to bring him into the equation because some of the values that John Dalton taught to Mr. Mayo are being exemplified at the Mayo Hospital or the Mayo Clinic today in Minnesota. So let's talk about math and science history as I land my plane. I believe that we're living in an era where the amount of knowledge available to learn anything is unbelievable. There are so many resources, especially with things like AI, where you can prompt the AI to give you examples for any topic you want and give you practice problems and potential and solutions. So our students have a wide variety of resources. The challenge now becomes, how can we coach and inspire them to love learning the mathematics and the science? So in this AI age, my dream and goal is to help raise the next generation of Sir Isaac Newtons, of John Daltons, of Carl Friedrich Gausses, and Ramanujans and Maxwells. These are just some famous mathematicians and scientists, and Sir Andrew Wiles and Dr. Terence Towles, I want to see how we can raise those students to become world-class mathematicians and scientists, especially in an age of AI and space science. We need more people who know and understand mathematics at a deep level. And the way we do that is by teaching them how to practice, giving them a roadmap, and telling them stories of people that have changed the world. Yes, talent matters. However, the methods that we use play a huge role to raising the top generation of scientists. So that's part of my quest, is that I want to help families and schools to revolutionize math education and increase the amount of students who are flourishing in calculus and doing calculus for fun, because it's beautiful, for no other reason, but just because it's beautiful. So I'll end with a story of an English young boy who was born on Christmas Day of 1642. He was born premature, and most people probably thought he wasn't going to survive. But this young boy ended up making it through the early years. He was very curious about the world, which is the fundamental skill, I would say, that top scientists go back to. He was curious about understanding different aspects of the world. This young boy ended up getting admitted to Cambridge University, and he studied at Trinity College. While he was at Trinity College, there was a plague that came, and he had to go back home. He went back home, and during this time from 1664 to 1666, he came up with a lot of things and discoveries about the world. This young boy, of course, is Sir Isaac Newton. When he came back in 1666, his understanding of mathematics had gone to a new level because he had studied the works and mastered more of the principles, which his teacher, his coach, Sir Isaac Barrow, had told him to do. And so he studied, he came back, he studied the work of René Descartes, the French mathematician, and other people. And when Newton came back, he continued his work, and in 1687, he published probably the greatest book in the history of science, called the Principia. This Sir Isaac Newton changed the world of science and math forever. And my dream is to raise the next generation of scientists and mathematicians like Sir Isaac Newton, who understand the history and philosophy of mathematics, who understand where they're headed in their journey in math, and who have a solid study skill set to be exceptional in mathematics. That is my quest, and I'm open to answer any questions that anyone might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Indeed, mathematics and calculus are very, very essential, and it is important that we help our children understand these concepts a lot better. Well, definitely later in the fair today, we're going to talk more about it. We're going to have a panel session to talk more about it and discuss it even further. But right now, let you take a breather while we bring in the next school.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So coming up right about now, we have the next school to present, and that would be Box Hill School. Representing Box Hill School, we have the Director of Admissions and Marketing in person of Alison Vernon. Good morning, Alison.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to have you.
Thank you very much indeed. Good morning to everybody on this call. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a great pleasure to be able to speak about school to families and to take questions if necessary. So I will start. I'll just share my screen if that's okay. Hopefully this will work. I will do that now. Do I have that working okay?
Yes, you do.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I will so I'd just like to spend a bit of time talking about the school and just taking you through what we do and where we are and the important factors about our school. So we're a long-standing school. We are based in beautiful grounds in Surrey, which is in the southeast of England. Here's a photograph of the back of our school and some young people going about their daily business. We have a really broad and diverse international community here. All of our students are very well integrated. We don't have any differentiation between our boarders and our day students. It's a very integrated and warm and welcoming community. So just in terms of location, we are, as you can see, in the south of England, very close to both Gatwick and London airports. We're located, however, in an area of outstanding natural beauty, lots of green space in a village environment, very safe, very peaceful, but very well connected in terms of transport and local facilities. We are connected with our local church, which is a 2-minute walk from any of the boarding houses on site, and is well attended by both staff and students. So in terms of the background, a whistle-stop tour through our history. We're a founder school of the Round Square Global Network, and there are 240 schools across the world who are members of the network. And what ties us and binds us together is a shared educational ethos. And that can be summed up really in the statements here around the type of learning that takes place in the school. It's very holistic. And what that means is that there's equal emphasis on all elements of teaching and learning. So whether you have somebody who is extremely academic, or they're somebody who has a strong talent for music or drama or art or sport, everyone is catered for, and we don't specialise in any one area. Of course, it goes without saying that the academic ethos is very strong here, and that is at the core of everything we do. But we very much believe in learning through experience and the nature of learning and how that is shared with children. It's very important that they are all individually catered for in terms of the way that they learn. And with a diverse community such as ours, we take a lot of time and effort to make sure that everyone is well supported and has the right academic focus. The statement at the end, which was espoused by Kurt Hahn, who was the founder of the Round Square Network, there is more in us than we know. And what that means to us and how we take that forward is that everyone is capable of lots of different things, of progressing and being successful. And often it's in areas that they don't even know they can do that in. So we encourage students to have a go, to try new things, to step out of their comfort zones, and to be well supported in that nature by all of the staff here. We encourage everyone to just try, have a go, and don't be frightened, and you will be supported in a very positive environment to help you do that. So just in terms of Round Square itself, just wanted to just summarise what the network stands for. We have a number of themes here that run through our school ethos, which, as I say, is shared with many of the schools globally. And it really shapes how we go about everything that we do, the type of community that we have, and the way that the school is run. So it's very much about all of these elements coming into everything we do, whether it's academic lessons, it's co-curricular, it's expeditions, it's leadership, it's representation in national competitions and things like that. It's very much about all of that feeding through across the school environment. So just briefly, in terms of the shape of the community, a third of our community are international at the moment. When I last looked, we had 35 different nationalities, many different countries represented, many different cultures also part of our school. So that therefore lends itself to being 2/3 of our British day students. But as I said at the beginning, we're of one single community. We all share the same values, and it's very much about developing and progressing every individual student, regardless of their background, their nationality, their culture, their strengths and weaknesses. Everybody is looked at in exactly the same way, with a focus on two really important things: their happiness and also their success. And those are the things that drive everybody in my school. In terms of the academic side of things, just briefly as well, we run a number of courses. You won't be surprised to see that we've got the curriculum structured around the different year groups. So the 2-year IGCSE and GCSE course, which is running from year 9 through to the end of year 11. It can also be taken in years 10 and 11 as well. We have a 1-year accelerated GCSE programme. The difference basically between the two is that the subjects taken in the 1-year course would be 6 subjects, whereas you would typically study 9 and 10 subjects over the 2 years. In the 6th form, so in years 12 and 13, you have the 2-year A-level programme and also the IB programme. So students have a really big choice about what programmes they can study on. And if a child is joining the school lower down, there will be a lot of support, guidance and help for both students and parents in determining and deciding which programme would be suitable and best for them in the 6th form, and of course the subject choices as well. So lots and lots of help along the way. Outside of the classroom, the environment, the boarding life that students will have is really important. It runs alongside our educational and academic programmes, but it's very important that that is really considered right from day one. There's a lot of time spent in the sort of pre-preparation time for arrival, so that when students are thinking about coming, we work closely with families to help prepare them in understanding expectations, knowing what they need to bring, what it's going to be like, and to really work closely with them to make sure that they feel that they know us quite well before they even arrive. We have a really strong group of people across the school in many areas of the school who work with each individual student, supporting them not only academically, but very much on their well-being and their happiness, and making sure that friendships are working, and all of those really important things that students really focus on and are very important in that settling in period. In addition to that, there's a very strong focus, particularly in the 6th form, and very importantly in the 6th form, on supporting and helping students to achieve their goals in terms of university admissions. We've got a dedicated team of people with such a broad community, with such a diverse student body. We are working with students for applications to the UK, to the US, to Canada and to Europe. And regardless of whether you're wanting to become a medic, you're wanting to be a veterinary surgeon, or you want to go into some other careers, our team will help all of those students to get to where they need to get to. That starts pretty much in the lower 6 when they join, and lots of guidance around choices and decisions and helping them to do that, as well as a whole programme of speakers and visits and online resources available to help with that process as well. It does become one of the most important aspects of that 2-year time in the 6th form, and it's really important that they're well supported, particularly if they're going into areas that perhaps they don't have such familiarity with. So just following on from that, really, just to say that academically, it's the core of everything we do as a school. Of course it is. And there's a strong focus for every student on their academic progression. And what that means is that there is very regular assessments and monitoring. Often students aren't aware that's necessarily happening. That's happening in the classroom every day. It's happening with teachers. It's happening in any meetings that staff would have about individual students, and really making sure that we can get the very best out of them and that their journey is a positive and fun one at the same time. We're very proud of our academic outcomes in terms of our GCSE, A-level and IB results. And it's very much a case of working individually, as I said, with each student. And we're proud of the fact that being a school that has a really broad academic cohort of students in the school, that their outcomes are excellent across the board. I just wanted to show you briefly this case study of a student who was our head girl 2 years ago. She was from Nigeria. She was an amazing young lady. She only joined us in the sixth form, and very quickly it became obvious that she was going to be a bit of a rising star. She was somebody who threw herself into school wholeheartedly. She engaged with everything that was on offer, and it very quickly became obvious she was going to be somebody that was going to be highly successful. We appointed her to be the head girl, and she was in fact the leader of the student body in the upper sixth, and she was very much involved in mentoring of younger students. And what came across, and is really something that I won't ever forget really, is how she looked after a group of much younger students on their first day at school, mentoring them, supporting them, and the warmth and authenticity and just care that came through in the way she was really helping and supporting those students was so impressive. She actually was a really strong academic achiever at the same time, so all of these talents coming together. She was our highest scoring IB student that year, within the top 1 to 2% of schools worldwide, and she's now at King's College studying business management. So I just wanted to share that as one of the students here that's done exceedingly well in recent years. So let's just move on beyond the academics, because I know that this is all about that rounded experience for students. It goes without saying academics are vital and important and lots of focus, but we also offer an abundance of co-curricular opportunities. Students will have times in their timetable right the way through school, the younger students, but also in the sixth form. Obviously, there's less time in the sixth form because we have to focus on the academic pathway, but sixth formers equally will have time to take part in enrichment activities and in games as well. So there's so many different options which the students can choose, from things like salsa and other dance programs to the Model United Nations, things like sport and exercise, debating club, chess club. There's even now a new driving theory practice club that they're interested in. Lots of things, just a whole choice of activities that can be selected. So everyone's timetable is bespoke, it's tailored to them, and we're very much about focusing on outcomes. So all of the enrichment activities that take place are designed in a way that there's an outcome, not just spending time having fun and enjoying that with your friends, but very much about an outcome driven program. So it's very, very fulfilling, and it means that they have lots of additional items that they can add to their CVs and their applications for university. Much of what we do as schools is preparing young people for life beyond school. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it's very, very true. Many of the jobs that our young people will go into may not have been invented yet, and therefore for us it's about developing some skills that will take them through not only into university, but beyond into work and in life generally. Boarding gives students an awful lot of those skills, building independence, building skills around problem solving, about critical thinking, and about getting on with others and learning how to navigate their way through relationships and other challenges that life might throw at them. And that's, for us, a very big focus of all of our staff, but particularly our very dedicated boarding staff, with whom children who join us will have a very close relationship. Just another couple of case studies. So Gianna, she was also from Nigeria. She was on our one-year course, very academically ambitious, and successfully achieved that, going on then to study in the sixth form. She's highlighted here in this that her favourite thing about the school was the teaching and the level of support from all the staff in the school. And Jaden, another student, so he came to us in year 10, so he's taken our 2-year GCSE programme again, loved boarding and had a fantastic time here, keen footballer, and really engaged with everything that was on offer. And he's gone on again to move on to sixth form, and is then studying I think is on the A-level programme. So then I think that's my, oh no, one more. So I think for here, it's you can see that comes through these testimonials, if you like, is that students really enjoy all the experience of school, not just the academic side of things, but the co-curricular and all the activities that we offer on site. Living in such a beautiful area and in such spectacular surroundings, they're very fortunate to have lots of great facilities, both in school and locally as well. So the next, this is a video. So I'll just play this. I'm hoping that the audio will work. I just thought you'd be helpful to just see the school, just a quick overview of what it looks like and where it's situated.
There's no audio, Alison.
No audio.
No.
Oh, it's okay. The audio is music, so I think it will be fine just to see the film.
Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry that this doesn't sound like the music's come through, but hopefully that has given everyone on the call just a good overview of where the school is and some imagery to show you the layout and where we're located. So there is more information on our website, of course. And finally, just to say that I'm very happy to answer any questions, but also if anyone wants to get in touch, there's the details. And also our social media is quite active, so you wanted to follow us and see what we're doing, then obviously you'd be very welcome to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that presentation. That was amazing. That's a wonderful presentation. Parents, if you have questions for Box Hill School, she's still here. Please keep the questions coming. Let the questions come in. Okay, we have one question. Oh, okay, sorry. Bayemi saying a big thank you to you.
Oh.
Okay, so thank you so much. In the absence of any question, but please, I would want you to stay around. Do not be in a hurry to leave. We're still going to have a panel session that we would want you to take part in. We have a topic we'd like to discuss and we want you to be a part of that. So please stick around. Thank you so much for the presentation. So would like to move on to the next school to present today, and that is Ashford School, ably represented by Daisy Davidson. She is the Director of Admissions and Marketing for Ashford School. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Daisy Davidson.
Great. Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Thank you very much for having me today. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. One always gets nervous when you do this because sometimes it never works. Let's see.
Okay.
Is it sharing with you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Now? Yes.
Now it's showing.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, good. Right, so I shall start. So, I don't know if any of you know anything about Ashford School, but we are 126 years old and we've been welcoming Nigerian families to our school for over 50 years. So we're well versed in enjoying sharing the cultures, which is fantastic. So our school is a co-ed day and boarding school in Ashford in Kent. So it's a fabulous location. We're very lucky. We are a small town in the middle of the countryside. So we get the best of both worlds. We are very close to London. So we're 37 minutes on the train to King's Cross and just under an hour's drive to Gatwick and just over an hour's drive to Heathrow. So that means you can get to your children very quickly and easily. And likewise, if they have friends or family and guardians in London, it's really easy for them to be able to go back and forth. Ashford, as I said, is a small town in the countryside. And so they're able to do lots of different things, but it's very safe and secure. And our campus is one campus with all boarding houses all together with the school. So they don't need to leave the campus if you don't want them to. Now I have a short video that hopefully you can hear.
We can say it, but there's no sound.
Sorry, it's quite nice music.
Okay.
But
Sorry, Daisy. Okay.
hi.
There's no sound.
No, I know. I don't think
Okay, good.
the videos don't
Okay.
seem to play the sound. I'm so sorry. I can
Oh,
hear
good.
it, but I mean, I could sing with you, but you probably wouldn't want to hear that. Just quite nice to give you, because I feel without actually seeing the school, it's difficult to get a feel for it. So when you're actually looking at the pictures and the videos, it's quite nice, isn't it? It's a shame because it's very nice, uplifting music, but never mind.
It's okay.
Right, just try and get us on to the next slide. No. Oh no, I've lost my presentation. Uh-oh, hang on. Oh my goodness, sorry about this. Hang on a second. Oh, it's starting again. Oh no, hang on. No, right, I can't get out of it now. Hang on, let's see. Sorry, everybody.
No problem.
Don't know why I can't get out of it.
Do you want to
Okay,
stop share?
I'm
If you
going to
could-
stop share and start again. I always have this problem with it. I'm so sorry. Right, so hang on, you can see me. Let me see if I can get, I can't even get onto my presentation now. This happened earlier and I can, here we go. Right. No. Ah. Aha. I've done it. Gosh, right, I'm going to reshare. Hang on. Sorry about that. Am I sharing again? Yes.
Yes, you are.
Perfect. Apologies for the glitch there. That often happens. Right. We have four pillars that underpin our school and our sort of ethos. So academic rigor obviously speaks for itself, and I'll talk to you about our academics in a bit. Adventurous learning. So what does adventurous learning mean? Basically, all lessons have an element of hands-on, interactive, practical experience. So we believe pupils will learn more if they're involved and have sort of an interactive element to each of their lessons. If they are a part of it, they're engaged and they're sort of learning more and hopefully having more fun with this as well. Learning should absolutely be fun. Optimizing potential. This is ensuring that every pupil becomes the best version of themselves, basically. And we know this by encouraging pupils to be adventurous and courageous, giving them the confidence to try new things. And again, I'll talk later about our 80 different co-curricular activities. We're very much an all-rounder school. And of course, the academics is really important, but so are all the other things that we have to offer children. And celebrating individuality. This is understanding each and every student. It's understanding that all pupils are different. And it's about celebrating that. And again, we demonstrate that with our variety of scholarships that we offer pupils, which again, I'll talk to you about in a little bit. So our pupils, where did that go? Sorry, this is going glitchy. So we have 994 students in the whole of our school. So we have little children from 3 months old, so nursery, all the way through to 18. But the areas we're probably talking about are our senior schools. So we have 466 students in the senior school at the moment. 96 of those students are boarders from 21 different countries. So we have around 80% of our students are British students. So what does this mean? Or mostly British. So this means your child is going to get a full immersion into the British way of life and British education. We spend a lot of time and energy making sure that our day pupils and our boarders integrated really well. So from the minute they leave breakfast and go to their form time, boarders and day pupils are integrated fully together. And then they also have co-curricular clubs afterwards. So it's not until 5 o'clock when the day pupils go home that the boarders are then separated and they go off and do their own boarding activities. We obviously benefit from really small classes, which is fantastic. We also have excellent teachers who have come from a wide variety of different backgrounds. So pastoral care. Your child's wellbeing is really important to us. We take pride in our pastoral care, and we want your child to know that there's always someone around who they can talk to, no matter what time of the day it is. We have something called Time for Me, which, you know, sometimes with things with children, you just need 10-minute reset. So Time for Me is that time they can literally go off and have a 10-minute chat with someone. We have a wellbeing centre, so with doctors and nurses, but also with our chaplain, Reverend Bellamy, who is there all day, every day. He's very much there to help children with their spiritual guidance, but also even those who don't have faith. It just is another really friendly, lovely guy to have a chat with. So he's in our wellbeing centre. And children know they have buddies, day buddies, boarding buddies. And then there's also various people throughout the school that they can talk to, as you can see here. So learning habits, we have 6. No, this is not working very well. Apologies. I'm going to come back. I want my 6 learning habits to come up. They haven't come out. Never mind. We have 6 learning habits. Independence, creativity. Oh, there you go. Tolerance and collaboration, scholarship and curiosity, resilience, reflection, responsibility, and independence. Now, these are clear guidelines for our pupils, expectations, and they're embedded within the school curriculum in everything we do. And they're displayed all around the school so that at any time pupils know what is expected of them. And I think that's really important. Clear guidelines. I don't think this is going to pop up either, is it? No. Academic programs. So we offer GCSEs, IGCSEs, BTEC sport, A-levels, English as an additional language, and cultural immersion courses. So I don't think your family's usually interested in that, but we do offer courses, a taster course of a minimum of 6 weeks. Here are our academic results. No. We have these wonderful slides that are supposed to come in with our academic results, and they're not coming in. I think we have to be patient. Apologies. Oh, no. No, I'm going to go backwards and try it again. I do apologise. There we are. Academic results. So We are an academic school, but we are also a broad ability academic school, and that's because we are an all-rounder school. So we do have children who are incredibly academic, but we also have children who excel in arts, music, drama, sport, etc. But I think our grades are really good. So as you can see, GCSEs, A levels, 40% of our grades for A level were A star to A, 42% of our grades for A star to A for GCSE as well. And our average UCAS points at the moment are AAB, and that has sadly recently changed. We were 3As, but last year we went down to AAB. We're hoping that to go back up again next year. So scholarships, as I said, we celebrate individuality in every child, and that's why we offer such a diverse and range of scholarships. So we award them in entry for year 7, year 9 and year 12 in academic, sport, drama, art, music, swimming and piano. So we are a all Steinway school, which means we only have Steinway pianos. And for those of you that don't know what a Steinway is, it's like a Ferrari of pianos and is fantastic. And once you see a pianist start playing on a Steinway, their eyes light up and it's wonderful. Yes, so we offer academic, we offer scholarships in all of those areas, specifically year 7, year 9 and year 12, and they will then serve for the rest of their time at the school. Discounts are usually around, well, actually, we won't talk about that just yet, but around 30% for a major. No, that's not working again. I'm so sorry. All these wonderful, there you go, future and beyond. So we have a dedicated careers advisor. We have careers seminars. We have two-thirds of our students achieve their firm choice and more than half gain a place at Russell Group universities. We guide you and your children through the next pathway choices, helping with UCAS applications and making sure that you're finding the right course and the right university for your child. And I think that's really important as well, finding the right course for your child. I know often families want a specific university, and that's great, but that might not be the right one for your child or for the course that they want. So we're very vocal in making sure that we help you make that right decision. So I just wanted to tell you, I've just got 2 alumni here, just to show you. I mean, we have quite a few Nigerians in our school. I think I've got a number here, just bear with me. We have 15, there we go. At the moment, we have 15 Nigerian children, 10 boarders, 5 day, and then 6 in our prep school as well. So these 2 left a few years ago, as you can see, and are just doing wonderful things. I have actually got some updated ones as well, but these 2 are fantastic. So co-curricular. Again, this thing's not going to pop in, is it? Ah. There we go, learning beyond the books. So developing those all-important yet hard to measure personal qualities. So we have over 80 co-curricular activities, which again is really important. We have all manner of different types of clubs that your child can choose from academic to sporting to drama to debating, you know, all manner of different things. Now more than ever, it's important to build a child's profile. Good grades aren't just enough these days, and unis are looking for a little bit extra. So it's really important to build a child's profile, have hobbies, create standouts, you know, between your child and others. So when they go to university, they've got something else they can talk about apart from just their grades. And that is really important. And that is what all the top unis are looking for these days. So I think we're very good at building profile. Academics, of course, is really important, but it is only one part of the jigsaw that makes up this fantastic all-rounder human being. And again, I think that's something that we really excel at Ashford School. So learning beyond the books, we're a really sporty school. We have fantastic facilities. As you can see, we do also have a prep school, which has another 40 acres as well. So we have lots of facilities available. Children will play a lot of sport. We have 2 afternoons a week dedicated to sport. We think it's really important for your children all children to play competitive sport, no matter whether they're A team or E team. Teaches them so many things. Resilience, learning how to win and fail are really important as well. So drama, the creative arts, again, is something that we love. Drama, art, music. We do excel in quite a few of these areas. And there's lots of opportunity for your child to be on the stage, whether it's drama or in the orchestra. We have many performances, so we have 3 big performances every year. We have 5 art studios and an artist in residence. So our artist in residence is an artist who lives within the school and is a fantastic mentor for those children. Our music, I mentioned our Steinway, but we also have a jazz band, many different ensembles and orchestras. So boarding. Does a snazzy move, but it's not working. I'm having a real glitch today. I'm so sorry. We'll go backwards again. It might work. Or not. No, well, it's not working. So never mind. 3 boarding houses. I'm so sorry. 3 boarding houses. Most of our rooms are either double or singles, unless they're very little boys, and then they have a room with 3 or 4 other kids. But most of them have en suites again, unless you're little. So I know they're important, the en suites for the older kids. So our sixth formers get en suites in single rooms. If they do want to share, then that's not a problem as well. I think the important things to take away are we aren't a Saturday school, so we don't have Saturday lessons, but we do have Saturday sport, and the day pupils come in and come in for that as well. And we don't have any exeats, and I think that's really important. So your child doesn't have to leave every 3 weeks to go to a guardian that frankly they don't want to go to. And what is also important is most of our boarders are full-time boarders. So again, the boarding house is busy over the weekends. It's not empty because everyone's left for the weekend. So I think, again, that's really important. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't work. So I'm just going to wing it and tell you about it anyway. So we have a full evening and weekend program of activities. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, now it's coming up. See if the next bit's going to work. Nope, glitching. I'll tell you about we have lots of activities. So after school, once they've done their prep and their food, they've had their supper and their prep, they then can go and do loads of activities. So of course, there's lots of sport involved, but there's also movie nights, cinema. We have the theatre nearby. We have bowling. We have laser tag. Because we are in a small town, they can get to use those things as well, obviously supervised. And then weekend activities are very similar. Saturday sport and chilling out. We have the outlet 5 minutes walk away, which all the kids really love because they get to go and do some shopping if they want to, with some really nice shopping brands, and get to eat some food. And then there's always a Sunday activity for all boarders. Now that might be going to see Harry Potter World. It might be going to London. Again, all of this is supervised. It might be going to Canterbury. It might be seeing a castle, but there's lots on offer. Oh, there they are. Lots of sport in the evening. There are my weekend activities, which have now just disappeared. So just a couple of testimonials from parents. I won't read them out, but we have, again, this is being recorded, so you can read them later. But it's just, you know, our families and our children do have a really nice time here. We want school to be fun while learning. It's really important. So the process is very simple. Obviously, speak with your agent, but you register, send through passport and a report, and we go from there. Depending on what age they are, depends on what assessments they do, but they will need to do assessments in the A levels they want to study. And there is an EAL interview if they need that, but obviously not for Nigerians. Then we will offer a place. There are lots of opportunities, though, to have conversations with head of boarding, or the head of school, or if your child's into sports, or head of academic, those sorts of people. We really think it's really important to have as many touch points as possible throughout the admissions process. We do encourage, if you can, to come visit the school. And this is us, me and Nick. Nick Creasy is the lady you'll be speaking to on a day-to-day basis. And Catherine Wakelin is our student visa coordinator who can help with all things visa orientated. Thank you so much. Apologies for the glitches. I think what I've learned is stay simple. Don't have slides that whiz in and out because they clearly don't work sometimes. And that's me done.
Presentation. Thank you. Well done.
My pleasure.
Okay, so if if you have any questions for Ashford School, please, you can send in the questions now. If you'd like to ask the questions live, you can indicate by a show of hand, and then would let you ask those questions real time. Okay, so we have a parent raising their hand. Okay, we have Torishe Oparison. Please, can we let her speak?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, we can.
We can hear
Hello,
you.
Davy. Thank you so
Hi.
much. Don't worry, it was absolutely fine. Even with all the glitches, it was completely fine. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Well, I don't know why this is the first time I'm hearing about Ashford School, so I'm really glad I joined.
Good.
So I've got a son going into year 7. So I've posted a few questions. I don't know if you can see them in the box.
I can't, but I'm sure
You can't. Okay, I can ask verbally. So the first question, I do have a lot of questions around
Oh, I see them.
diversity.
I see it.
Can
Sorry,
you see
yes.
them? Great. Okay. So my questions are mainly around diversity, both
Okay.
in all forms, I
Yep.
guess. The first question was around, numbers. How
Yep.
many children in your school identify as Black or of African descent?
So I don't have that number to hand, but I can find out
Okay.
for you. We are a really
Okay.
diverse school, and we have a large African community. So I mean, not all of them are borders, though. We have quite a few Nigerians who've come over. So as I said, we've got Nigerian children in total was in the senior school 15, but then obviously there are other African or Black families as well, and then some are British. But I can get back to you on that one.
Okay, thank you very
Maybe
much.
if I
It
send
just-
them through to Adetola, and then you can pass them on.
That would be good. Thank you. It's very important to us because where my kids are now, we're in London.
Yes, of
They're in a
course.
very diverse school, lots
Yeah.
of people from all backgrounds,
I
from
agree.
across Eastern Europe. So I think that's quite important to
I
us.
do as well.
Great. And then the second question is a little bit more nuanced. It's the question around implicit bias. And I know it's a big question, but is there any acknowledgement or any work around this in the teachers and the pupils?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't actually know. What do you mean by implicit bias? Excuse
Okay,
me for
great.
being
Thanks.
ignorant here.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for asking. So essentially, we all have our own, depending on where you're brought up, you have your own ideas of how people are and how other cultures are.
Oh.
There is something referred to as an implicit bias where you might, I may have a perception of, oh, this is how all British people drink cups of tea and say Cheerio, which we know is not real, I think this is something that exists for teachers, especially in relation to Black boys. I have a Black son, and we already know from the statistics. I'll try and pull up some papers.
What I would
around,
say,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, is that we're not London. We have, and in the sense that we have been dealing with, as I said, we've been working with Nigerian families for over 50 years. We have lots of different nationalities within our school. And I would like to say that the implicit bias is as of a minimum, because we have so much experience with children in our school. And for me, the experience that we've had with our Nigerian students is that they're hard workers. They give so much back to our Ashford community. They throw themselves in everything that we offer. And so from my mind, if there is an implicit bias, it's not a negative one, it would only be a positive one, because our Nigerian kids have been fantastic. But I can, of course, speak to our teachers. But yeah, as I said, we're a really diverse school. And it was one of the things that I wanted when I moved from London, because I was living in Streatham, and my kids were very much used to a really diverse community. And that's exactly what I wanted for my kids for when we came here 9 years ago. So I completely understand.
Okay.
But I can get back to you personally on these subjects as well, if you prefer. And we can also get you speaking to specific people within the school to help you with that.
Okay, great. And just to be clear, implicit bias exists across, all aspects of societies. Can be with neurodivergence, it can be with gender and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, just to understand if there's any because some schools do have ongoing work where they have, sort of I know like in my kids' school right now, they will have these workshops where they just talk about like different religions and they,
We have EDI clubs.
Okay.
So EDI
Okay, great.
club
Thank you. With that.
happens twice a week. They do assemblies once a term or once a half term. And again, that might be for all manner of different things. It might be for neurodivergent. It might be for anything to do with gender or sexuality or race. So yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much, Daisy. And the next question was, again, just leading on from the previous one about neurodivergence. Do you have any information on your SEN team? And do you cater to students who do not, their brains work differently?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as I said, we do celebrate the individual in every child. We always say, as long as we know up front, if your child's been diagnosed with anything, or if you've got any, if they've got anything that we need to understand, because then we will know how we can support them.
Great.
We have a wellbeing team, we have a SEND team, and there are various things in place. Again, I can send you some information specifically on what we have in place. We also have further SEN support for those that need it and further SEN lessons as well. So
fantastic.
We're very much on it. More and more kids these days come with various neurodivergent things, not issues. I don't know what you call them, neurodivergencies.
Differences,
yeah, absolutely. And again, it's about the importance of just learning how to support that child and how to teach that child, because they learn slightly differently than others. And I think that's really important.
Great.
So, yeah. Scholarship discounts, yes. So in year 7 and 9, you can apply for up to 2 scholarships.
Okay.
In either of those, in the 7 things that I mentioned. I don't like to talk across the masses about what we offer generally, because also it does change depending on the pot. But roughly, we can go up to a maximum of 50% over 2. But you're more likely for a minor around 10% and a major around 30%. But again, nothing's set in stone. And it all depends on the pot. And for year 12 entry, children, recording has stopped, by the way. For year 12 pupils, that is, they can only take 1 scholarship.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Yes, we do have means tested bursaries, absolutely. And we've upped the pot for means tested bursaries because of the joy of VAT. We're well aware that families are going to struggle to send their kids to independent schools. So we're doing everything we can to support them.
Thank you very much. I hope to visit soon. Thank you.
Yes, please do. Absolutely. And do send on your details to your agent, and then we can, email you separately.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. We can't hear you.
Okay, I think we just have one more question. Okay, she's back.
All right.
Class sizes for year 12 was this?
Shay, for that question, for those questions. That was quite engaging. Okay, so we have another question here. And she says, I have 2 daughters in year 12. Okay, I have 2 daughters for year 12 in September. What are the class sizes like, and how diverse is the school?
Okay, so the class sizes for A-level are really small. So again, it depends on the subject they're doing. But the maximum generally in an A-level class is 12 to 14, with the average being 8. And we even have one child doing, bless her, music on her own, and there's just 1 of them. But we generally don't want them to have 1 in the class. But generally, we would say around an average between 4 and 8 is that, well, 8, I would say, is the average. Maximum around 14. How diverse is the school? Very diverse. We have 21 different nationalities in the school. I can get you a full nationality breakdown should you wish.
Okay, thank you. I believe Ashford School is a secondary school. So, though there's a parent asking if you're open to masters and PhD.
No, we stop at 18. So A levels, BTEC, we end there, and then we send you off to wonderful universities.
Absolutely.
But we do have a prep school if you have little children.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time with you. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for your time as well.
Thank you very much.
Would also love to thank all the parents who have participated, either by their attendance or ask questions and all of that. You all have made this a worthwhile engagement. Thank you so much. We're supposed to have the panel session, but for lack of time, we're going to move the panel session to another time during the fair. Remember, the fair has just started today, and we have this fair going on up till next week, Friday, the 31st of January. So if you know anyone who's supposed to be at the fair, do well to tell them about the fair and let them be here. It starts every day by 12 noon Nigerian time, 11 a.m. UK time. And it runs all through to 12:30 UK time and 1:30 Nigerian time. We would really love to see you. The schools are here to answer your questions. The lead consultant for Brains and Butter would be here also tomorrow. We also would like to apologize for starting a bit behind schedule. And we have the team of Brains and Butter on ground as well to answer any questions you might have concerning Brains and Butter. Mrs. Adetola, would you like to say anything?
Oh, not at all, but just to say thank you again to all the schools that have presented today and to some of our parents that were able to join. We had a bit of a technical issue this morning and we couldn't get some of our parents to join, but we will get that sorted tomorrow. And yes, I believe it's going to be an awesome time tomorrow, all through to Friday next week. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So please make it a date with us. We're waiting to see you here tomorrow. Do not forget to join us here tomorrow. Tell everyone who is supposed to be here. We're going to meet more, and we're going to meet other schools tomorrow. Amazing schools, great schools, and you'd have an array of wonderful schools to choose from for your children. Till we meet again tomorrow, same time tomorrow. It's bye-bye from me and bye-bye from the house. Thank you. See you tomorrow.